Hello boys and girls, it's Miss Ali from the library and her friend, the little blue dragon, ready to tell you another story. But before we can start our story, what do we need to get ready in our heads? Get ready for the story. You know what it is, he knows what it is, and I know what it is. So let's rub our hands together. Are you doing it? Are we ready? Can I feel it? Oh gosh, it's coming through in waves. Imagine a story. Imagine a book. Imagine a story. Open our eyes and let's have a look. So what story have we got today, little blue dragon? What's that? Oh, he says it's one of his favourite authors, and it is The Rhyming Rabbit by Julia Donaldson and Lydia Monks. So what do we think Julia Donaldson is responsible for in the story? What's that? Can you tell me? She thought up the words. That's right. So that makes her, do we know what that makes her? What's that? Little Blue Dragon says it makes her the author. Is that right? Do we think so? And the author is the person who uses their imagination to think up the words. Which means if Julia Donaldson thought up the story, thought up the words, what do you think Lydia Monks did? What's that? What are you saying? Right, Little Blue Dragon says she's the artist. What do you think that means? Is that right? Is it the artist? Well, she did draw the pictures of all the characters in the story. So a fancy word for that is can I hear you saying it? The illustrator. Okay, so Julia Donaldson is the author. She wrote the words, and Lydia Monks is the illustrator or the artist, and she created the beautiful pictures. Now, so they thought up the story and drew the pictures, but there's somebody else, a company that makes the book like this, so I can have it in the library, on my library shelves for you to borrow. And that is, do we know who that is? It's what's that? Little Blue Dragon says it's the publisher. And that is right. So the publisher is the company that makes the book, for lots of copies of the book for everybody to buy or to borrow from the library. So we're going to say thank you, Julia Donaldson, for the lovely words in this story. Thank you, Lydia Monks, for the beautiful drawings. And thank you, let me have a look, Macmillan Publishers, for making this book available for me to read to you guys. Okay. Now, before I open the book, what else might I look at on the outside? Does anybody know? We've looked at the front. What am I going to find on the back of the book if I turn it over? There's this writing here. Does anybody know what that's called? What's that? Yes. Little Blue Dragon knows. Do you guys know? It's the blurb. And the blurb gives us a little taste of what the book is about. So I'm going to read you the blurb. A rabbit with an ear for rhyme. Ooh, what's a rhyme? Do we know? Maybe you can listen to the story and at the end you can tell me what a rhyme is. Inspired by the colours and creatures around him, the rhyming rabbit is always making up entertaining verses. But when the other rabbits show no interest in poetry, he decides to take his talent elsewhere And so begins his underground adventure. Okay, so are we sitting comfortably? Yes? Are you sitting comfortably? You're being very still. Very good. No fidgeting. The Rhyming Rabbit. Let's have a look at this story. Well, look, that's nice, isn't it? It's the fields. There's the farmer in the field, the cows, the tractor, sheep, horses, even a scarecrow. You see? Right. The Rhyming Rabbit. The Rhyming Rabbit was sitting with his family in a grassy field. All the other rabbits were eating the grass, but the Rhyming Rabbit was making up a poem about it. Grass is growing all around. It makes a lovely swishy sound. It looks so green, it smells so sweet, and best of all, it's good to eat. Stop rhyming, start eating, said the other rabbits. Ooh, look, they look a little bit bad-tempered, don't they? Now, it was beginning to get dark when one of the rabbits pricked up his ears and stamped a foot. Fox, he shouted. Straight away, all the rabbits ran to their burrow, all except for the Rhyming Rabbit, who closed his eyes and made up a poem about a fox. Oh, fearful fox, all rusty red, you fill our rabbit hearts with dread. So silently you crouch and sniff until you catch our rabbit whiff. So hungrily, you cunning beast, you stalk your tasty rabbit feast. You're sly and crafty through and through, but we can run as fast as you. Don't rhyme, run, yelled the other rabbits. The Rhyming Rabbit opened his eyes, saw the fox, and ran. He reached the burrow just in time. Oh, I say, that was a close call, wasn't it? It was night time. The tired rabbits lay down together in their burrow, all except for the Rhyming Rabbit, who sat apart from the others, singing a song to them. Sleep, rabbit, sleep, snuggle up and close your eyes and listen to my lullabies. Sleep, rabbit, sleep. Dream, rabbits, dream of grassy fields and sunny hours and cabbages and cauliflowers. Dream, rabbits, dream. Stop singing. Go to sleep, said the other rabbits. They don't look very happy with him at all, do they? I wonder what's going to happen next. What do you think? The Rhyming Rabbit felt sad and lonely. The other rabbits were all snoring, but he couldn't get to sleep. The other rabbits do nothing but moan. I'm going to go off on my own, he said to himself, and he started to dig. He dug a long tunnel, and to keep himself going, he made up a short digging poem. Dig, dig, quick, quick, scrabble, scrabble, kick, kick, dig, dig, quick, quick, scrabble, scrabble, kick, kick. The tunnel led him up and down and round a corner where he met a worm. The Rhyming Rabbit stopped in his tracks and made up a new poem. Wonderful worm, deep in the soil, why do you wriggle and curl and coil? Where are you going? Where have you been? How do you manage to stay so clean? How do you change your shape like that? From long and skinny to short and fat. And one more thing that's been bothering me. How can you bear to eat earth for tea? But the worm said nothing. He had no ears, so he couldn't hear the poem. Can we see the worm? There's the worm. Can you just about make him out? Just put it, oh, there we go, tiny worm. Round the next corner, the rhyming rabbit met a mole. The mole's eyes were very small, but he did have ears. Maybe he would enjoy a spot of poetry. The rhyming rabbit stood on his hind legs and began to recite. Marvellous mole, as black as coal, with shoveling toes and pointed nose, you snuffle around beneath the ground. You're practically blind, but never mind. At least you can hear, so lend an ear, and hear when I say, moles rule okay. Be quiet, said the mole. I'm looking for worms. Can you see the mole? I don't think the animals don't like his poetry, do they? The rabbits don't like it. The worm couldn't hear it. And the mole is like, be quiet. Ooh. The rhyming rabbit felt lonely, but he carried on digging. He dug and he dug till he met a centipede. Straight away, he thought up his best poem yet. Oh, centipede with 100 legs, supposing you laid 100 eggs, and supposing the baby centipedes had 100 legs like their mum and dad, how many legs would that be? And supposing the baby centipedes grew and they each laid 100 eggs like you, and all of the new little sisters and brothers had just the same numbers of legs as the others, how many legs would that be? That's almost like a maths question. Woo! Shut up, said the centipede. I hate sums. Oh. The rhyming rabbit felt sadder and lonelier than ever. And he felt hungry too. He dug his way up out of the earth and into the open air and found himself on a hill. The grass was covered in dew. It tasted delicious. The rhyming rabbit ate and ate till he felt much better. Then he gazed up at the night sky and made up a new poem. Oh, midnight blue and velvet sky, oh, silver stars so bright and high, oh, yellow moon so clear and full, that shines on trees and grass and the rhyming rabbit couldn't think of a rhyme for full. He stopped and scratched his head. Could you think of something that rhymes with full? Wool, said a voice. The rhyming rabbit turned round and saw a woolly sheep standing beside him. Thank you, sheep. You found a rhyme, he said, and the sheep replied, I make up poems all the time. Another poet. The rhyming rabbit stared in wonder. Before he could think of a rhyming reply, the sheep went on, How nice it is to meet a rabbit with whom to share my rhyming habit. The rhyming rabbit felt so happy that he decided to make up a poem for the sheep. "Oh, pretty and poetic sheep, who stands upon the hill so steep, with handsome horns and woolly fleece, as white as snow, or clouds, or, oh gosh, he's stuck again. Geese, suggested the sheep. She smiled at the rabbit and added, "Shall I make up a poem for you?" "Oh yes, I pray you, sheep, please do," replied the rhyming rabbit. So the sheep cleared her throat and recited, "Any old rabbit can dig, any old rabbit can feed, but a rabbit who knows how to make up poems is a very special rabbit indeed. Any old rabbit can run, any old rabbit can sleep, but only a very special rabbit could make up poems with a sheep." The rhyming rabbit sighed happily. Look, he's got a new friend. The sun came up. It was a beautiful day. The rhyming rabbit and the sheep stayed together all day, making up poems about the sun and the flowers and the trees. As evening fell and their shadows grew long, the rhyming rabbit remembered his family back in the burrow, and he said to the sheep, "The others must be getting worried. Goodbye, dear friend. It's time I hurried." The sheep looked very sad and said, "Oh, you go? Oh no! Oh woe! Oh sorrow!" But the rhyming rabbit replied, "I will come back again tomorrow." And that is what he did. I think that's what he did. Well, there we go. So it shows even if you have an unusual hobby, there is somebody out there that can share their hobby with you. What do you think? I like the journey that he made and all the people he met. Well, can you remember what he met? He met a fox, first of all, and he nearly got caught. And then he met, who did he meet? What was that? Oh, right, Little Blue Dragon says he met a worm. Could the worm hear his story, his poem? No, because worms don't have ears. And then who did he meet? Can you remember who else he met? He was a bit grumpy, wasn't he? Can you remember? What's that? It was the mole with his kind of like digging. He was saying, be quiet, you're going to wake up the worms. I'm looking for worms. And then who else did he meet on his journey in the tunnel? Can you remember? Yes, it was a centipede. The centipedes have 100 feet. And he was doing sums, wasn't he? And the centipede got all grumpy. He said, I don't like. And then who did he meet at the end? Who was that? Can you remember? It was a new friend and a sheep. I think she was a lady sheep. Okay, so it's time for me and the Little Blue Dragon to go. And what would we like? Maybe you could draw me a picture of the rhyming rabbit. Maybe you could think up a rhyme of your own. Maybe a rhyme about the Little Blue Dragon. What do you think? Anyway, until next time, it's goodbye from the Little Blue Dragon, and it's goodbye from me. Bye!